Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be taking a look at both the Lancome and the Valentino holiday collections. And we've got some pros and cons to each. So let's go ahead and get started. And we're going to start off with the Lancome, and I put it back in the box. This is the big palette. I also picked up two of the lipsticks and the lip gloss. There are two additional lipsticks that I did not pick up. But I love the way that this palette comes packaged. It makes a really great gift. So I wanted to show you the packaging. First of all, it does come with tape here on both sides with a little scissor mark. You can actually just kind of do it with your fingers. It's perforated, but just to note that there is some tape there. And then you open it up, you've got the little ribbon here to lift this up, and this is foam inside, so it's nice and like cushiony. Now the foam, it is kind of glued inside. However, it's only glued inside along the edges here, and it's not like tons. You can definitely remove the foam, reuse the box if you'd like. So we have this velour pouch, and then this is the actual palette. You can see it is heavy duty. We have kind of this is a really deep navy background. I don't know if it's leather or vegan leather. I think it's vegan leather. From the way it feels, but we've got a couple crystals embedded, and then we have these golden stars and obviously the Lancome logo. And then you open it up, it is magnetic closure. We have a full-size mirror, which does come with the little piece of plastic on there. There are two utensils here. So we have, they're double-ended. So one has a brush, the other three ends are foam tip applicators. And then these are the shadows. So we do have a duochrome in here. And let's start off with these swatches. Now, I want to say, these go on nicely with a brush. You can definitely build them up to this more pigmented level with a brush. But if you want full pigmentation, definitely go with your finger or the foam tip applicators. So our first shade is, let me leave a little space. We'll put the blue there again. So if you were to blend out the blue and make it more sheer, you can see we do have a little bit of a deep gray in the base there. It doesn't blend away to gray though. You're always going to see some blue. And then we also have some shimmer in there. Now the shimmer particles, we actually have some pink and some blue shimmer, which I think is nice. The fact that there's a little pink in there also. Then this is just a sparkly white shade. If you put this on with a brush, it goes on very, very sheerly. So you can really use that more as a topper if you'd like, or you can pile it on. So depends what you want to use. This is our duochrome here. And in the pan, it does not look as shifty as it actually is. But this is going to be like your rose gold duochrome. So it'll shift pink and gold. And then the next shade here is a pink. Now, I love the embossing on this palette. We have this like starburst design. My only issue with this pink, it goes very nicely with the rose gold. However, the shade of pink that it shifts to is very similar to this solid pink. So I feel like there's not enough difference there between those two shades. And then we have this taupe, which I love this. This is going to be a satin finish. And it is a really beautiful, more brownish leaning taupe. And then we have a champagne shade here. So I do want to note though that these two shades in particular, the rose gold and the pink, those two, they're basically smooth when you touch them with your finger. However, they're not super finely milled. So if you are using them repeatedly and wiping them off, they can feel a little bit gritty. They're a little bit larger particles than some shimmers from some higher end brands. So just something to note there. Let's take a look at the demos and details. Now this palette retails for $89 US. It's made in Italy. We have 15 grams of product. There's a 1.5 year shelf life. And we have 6 shades at 2.5 grams each. So overall, I do think it's a really beautiful palette. It's called the Celestial Rose palette. And I like how this year's palette from Lancome is straight up eyeshadows. All the boxes are the same size. Last year we had some, that included like a highlighter, so it was like double the size of the others. But those shades were kind of similar to some of the eyeshadow shades, so I just felt like it was a little much for that particular size. I like seeing them all the same size, but that's just kind of like a personal preference. And overall, I do think that this is a nice palette. Now, according to Lancome, this is a limited edition eyeshadow palette created by Global Creative Director of Lancome Makeup, Lisa Eldridge. The Celestial Rose palette is our star of the season, featuring 6 dazzling and high-impact shades that capture the colors of a holiday night in Paris, including Midnight Sky, a deep blue with shimmer with glitter inspired by a starry night; Diamond Snowflake, a dazzling silvery white shimmer with glitter that emanates Parisian winter; Starglint, a shimmering peach gold that celebrates the golden statues that decorated the most majestic monuments in Paris, and that is the duochrome shade; Celestial Rose, a glimmering champagne pink which pays homage to the iconic Lancome Rose Gold Holiday Edition; Mystical Brown, a beautiful brown shimmer reminiscent of walking through beautiful gardens; and Paris Starlight, a muted shimmer that captures the city's sparkling lights and reflections. As precious as a jewel, each shade has been embossed with a mesmerizing starburst pattern. On the outside, a rose gold metal box features the legendary Agora rose embossed on a leather-like effect, stamped with starry sky elements. I think that overall, this is a really nice holiday palette. It does have a hefty price tag, but we have more oversized shadow boxes here. So each pan size is going to be 2.5 grams. So it's a little bit larger. If it's not a palette that you're going to use all the time, it might not be worth it. However, if you love these colors, it's definitely a worthwhile palette. I think they did a really great job on the color story. However, as I mentioned, my one complaint is the rose gold and the pink shade. I think they're a little bit too close. They could have perhaps changed the pink shade to be a little bit cooler in tone or have some sort of different hue with it. Or perhaps the duochrome could have been a gold green shift to reflect not only the Parisian statues, but also copper that you see around the city as it oxidizes. So just kind of my little thought. Overall, though, I do really like the color story. I think that the blue shadow in here performs very nicely. I'm very happy to see that it does not blend away to nothing. You're always going to see blue. And I love the multicolor shimmer that's in there. I think that was a really nice touch. And it's really easy to build up to get maximum impact with that shade. All the shades blend together very beautifully. So I think this is a really nice palette. It's super well packaged. Not only just the permanent packaging, but the box it comes in as well, which makes it a really great gift. I'm happy with the palette overall. I think they did a nice job. So we're just going to do one comparison with that, and we're going to compare it to the Givenchy Holiday palette. And let's go ahead, we're going to take some shades that are similar, starting with the blue here. We'll put them right next to it. So you can see the Givenchy blue is going to be a brighter, more royal blue. And we don't have the multicolor shimmer in there. Then for the brown, let's take a look at this brown here down here at the bottom. This one, you can see it's a little bit richer, a little more cocoa brown. They both have a very similar shimmer effect, but the one in the Lancome palette has just, it's a little bit softer, a little bit more fawn. And then let's take a look at this shade here for the, I was thinking the champagne, but let's actually put it up here. No, we'll put it here with the champagne. It's definitely too peachy though, not peachy enough to go with the rose gold or the pink. Let's take a look at this russet shade. And this is going to be deeper. You can see that is definitely more of a russet burgundy. This one here that kind of looks white is actually a very light blue, but we'll put that one right here so you can see how that compares. We'll take a look at this peach shade here, and let's put that up here with the rose gold and the pink. You can see it's definitely more peach than the champagne at the bottom, but definitely not deep enough for the rose gold or the pink. And that covered everything. We covered all the shades except this one here, which we'll just go ahead and swatch out on the bottom. And then this one. So these two are also part of that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I missed this one. So let's go ahead and swatch this one, and we'll put this one right here next to the brown. You can see it's even softer than the Lancome. So the Lancome's kind of in between the two from Givenchy. So I hope that was helpful. Let's go ahead and take a look at the lipsticks for the holiday collection. So Lancome brought out 4 different lipsticks and this lip gloss. You can see we do have the beautiful packaging here that matches that of the palette. This is going to be a shimmery white gloss. This is number 24, Diamond Glitter. Now, this is plastic packaging, and let's start off with this shimmer shade here. It's basically going to be a translucent shimmer. And we'll take a look at that on the lips in just a minute. So we do have some sparkle. The sparkle in here is pretty much more like white and gold. And then I picked up 2 of the 4 lipsticks. I picked up one of each shade. So let's start off with this one, which is the Intimatte. So the Intimatte is the lighter matte formula. And you just want to press the button here at the top to get the bullet to come out. This is all plastic. So I do wish that these were a little heavier duty. I feel like they are a little lightweight, I don't want to say chintzy, but a little bit. This is going to be the shade French Blush. This is 220 in Intimatte formula. So this is kind of their sheer blurred matte. I have to say, I really like this formula. So I right now have the Drama Matte on, and that's 196 French Touch. So this is their more intense matte. And this is going to be a warm red. So you can see we definitely have a little bit of a rusty orange in the base there. And there are 2 additional shades that I did not purchase. Let's take a look at these on the lips. The gloss retails for $35 US. It is limited edition, and this is described as a high shine pearlescent finish that leaves lips looking hydrated and glossy. It's an exclusive shade as glittering as diamond snow to illuminate your holiday night. We have 6 milliliters of product, a 2-year shelf life, and it's made in France. As for the lipsticks, as I mentioned, we have 4 different shades. There are 2 Drama Matte and 2 Intimatte lipsticks. Starting off with the Intimatte, I picked up shade 220 French Blush. The Intimatte is described as a soft matte lipstick with a buildable, lightweight, and comfortable formula that glides effortlessly onto lips. It's enriched with caring ingredients. We have 3.2 grams of product and a 2-year shelf life, and this is made in France. I have to say, this is a really nice formula because a lot of times the sheer mattes we have, they can be very comfortable, but they do have a more powdery texture. This really has a lot of glide on the lips. I really like it. This is my first time trying one of these, and I'm definitely going to be trying more of these. I think this is a really great formula. I'm very impressed with that. Then moving on to the Drama Matte, I picked up shade 196 French Touch. By the way, these shades are available in the permanent line as well. So definitely if you already have some of these, take a look and see what you have before purchasing, just in case you duplicate a shade. But the Drama Matte is the ultimate bold lipstick powered by pure pigments for a vibrant and matte finish. It does not have that dry, powdery matte look to it. It's more of a matte with a little bit of a sheen, more satin matte in the finish. There are 19 shades in the permanent line, and I have to say I really like this one as well. It's 3.2 grams and 2-year shelf life and made in France. All of these lipsticks retail for $35 US. And I have to say I'm really impressed with the Lancome lipsticks. I'm definitely looking at trying more of these. I've actually recently purchased some during the summer that I just never got around to trying because they did recently change their formulas. I've used Lancome lipsticks in the past, but these 2 that I have here, they're better than I remember. So I definitely can't wait to try out more shades in these formulas, but I'm really impressed with these. The only complaint I have about the lipsticks in the holiday collection, and I say this all the time with the collections, they don't really have cool tone options. The palette itself, the eyeshadow palette, we have a mix of cool and warm tones in here, but all 4 of the lipstick shades all run warm. So I do wish that they had some cooler options, but that's my only complaint. And I think it's beautiful. The gloss, I think, just adds a nice touch. Is it necessary? We have lots of clear lip glosses with glitter. You could definitely use one of those in place of that, but I really liked the packaging, and I think the gloss here is a really nice formula as well. This is my first time using a Lancome gloss, so I have to say it's really comfortable. It's not sticky, and yeah, I think it's really nice. I'm very impressed with the Lancome lip products. So we're not going to do any real comparisons with the lip products, but I did want to share that the lip liner I'm using with the Drama Matte is 107 Fire from Tom Ford. The colors don't go perfectly, you know, obviously they're not a match, but I love the shade around the edges to add just a little bit of kind of like just a little contrast and blend the red lipstick into it. I think they just go very nicely together, and I just wanted to give that recommendation. So let's go ahead and move on to the Valentino Holiday Collection. The Valentino Holiday Collection includes a blush, a highlighter, and one of the spiked lipsticks in a gold topper. I do not have that. When I picked these up, that wasn't available at the time. I haven't decided if I'm going to get it now that it is available. But I wanted to note that this here is the blush for the holiday. You can see our packaging here is going to be different. We have a brushed gold package on the front. I think it's really pretty. But this is a repeating shade. This is an existing shade. This is number 4. Now, I did not have this, so I purchased it. But honestly, when this became available at Selfridges, you know, it didn't say what shade it was. So I had no idea if it was going to be existing or a new shade. And you can see that this is going to be a peach, but it's a warm peach. So we do have a little bit more orange in there. I think it's a really pretty shade. It's definitely going to be a warmer hue blush. So that is the blush in the holiday collection. So you might already have this one. And then the highlight, by the way, these are eye to cheek. So you can definitely use these on the eyes as well. This is shade number 600, and this is to match the lip topper, which is also shade 600. And you can see this is going to be a pure gold highlighter. Now I do have a little staining there, so let me just move down a little bit more and make sure that swatch is truly clear. So this is the highlight. Let's take a look at the demos. And I started off, I did the blush on one side and the highlight on the other. And we started off with a lighter intensity and then built it up to a heavier intensity. So you can really see how they appear separately. And then right now I have them both on together. Now both of these are the eye to cheek formula, so they can both be used on the cheeks or on the eyes. And we have 3.6 grams of product. They're made in France with a 2-year shelf life. Now Valentino blushes, they do come with a little mini brush kind of in the hinge. We have a click closure on these. Overall, I think they're a nice product. I love the formula for Valentino eye to cheek products. I think it's a really nice creamy powder formula. So we definitely have a bit of a soft creaminess to it. It's not wet, but it's going to have that cream to powder kind of formula. And it gives a little bit of a soft radiance. You can see even the blush on its own has a little bit more of a satin finish to it. We have a tiny bit of pearlescence in there. There are no glitter particles or anything like that. It's purely just light reflection. So there's no shimmer in the blush. The only shimmer is going to be in the highlighter 600 shade. Now, both of these products retail for $52 US. And according to Valentino, it says celebrate the holiday season with Valentino's limited edition eye to cheek in 2 shades. The best-selling iconic hue 04 Sweet Rebel and iconic Rosewood for the perfect hint of color. Personally, I find this more to be a peach shade. It's peach. There is a little bit of warm rose in there, but I wouldn't describe it as a rosewood personally. Or in 600, put a spike on it, a shimmering gold highlighter hue. Both shades are housed in a limited edition monochrome gold case ornamented with a studded V logo. This unique compact, which can be used as both eyeshadow and blush, comes complete with an applicator for a seamless application. The creamy powder has a buildable finish that can be layered for more intense color impact. Inspired by the unique flattering light of Rome, all our shades are infused with our signature Roma Light Complex, crafted with color-boosting pearls for a radiant color result. There's 12-hour wear. As I mentioned, I do really like the formula for these, but I am a little disappointed that their holiday collection doesn't have anything a little bit more unique. The highlighter is nice, but I do wish that it was perhaps not quite as yellow as it is. It's definitely going to be more of that yellow gold. And I would have loved to have seen a new blush shade. So I just have one blush from Valentino that it kind of made me think of, this is number 9. So I believe this is called Poudre. And this is actually going to be more of their peach shade, so you can see the difference. But we definitely still have kind of a deeper peachy hue in shade number 4, in my opinion. I'm not really sure why they call that rosewood. So I just have 2 quick highlighter comparisons I'd like to make. And this is going to be the new Dior Holiday in number 1 or Lumiere. And this is not going to match because you can see that the Dior is, even though it's like, this is their golden highlighter, you can see it's definitely a pretty strong peachy shade. And then the other one I wanted to take a look at is Tom Ford number 2 Nude Sand. This is the Soleil Glow highlighter. So this was from summer collection. And you can see that this is kind of a deeper version of the Valentino. So the Valentino is going to be a little bit lighter. It's ever so slightly cooler in tone than the Tom Ford, but we do have a very similar hue to it. So these two are fairly close. So I hope that was helpful. We've now covered the Lancome and Valentino holiday collections in summation. The Valentino highlighter in shade 600 is a nice light bright yellow gold. And I think it's a very pretty shade. It definitely does run warm. I like though that we saw something new in that compact. So I like the packaging for that. And again, we have the little button to depress it and a little brush comes here. The blush, I would have liked to have seen a new shade. So this is shade number 4 from their permanent line. So that's my only disappointment really with that. I would have just liked to see, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more from Valentino there. And moving on to the Lancome holiday lipsticks and lip gloss. These really impressed me a lot. I love the way the packaging looks, but I do wish it was a little heavier duty, a little more luxe in the way that feels, the weight of it. As for the palette, I think the palette is stunning. I really love the packaging and how it comes. I think it makes a great gift. For something this large though, you definitely could have added more shades, made smaller pans, or, you know, perhaps made the whole thing a little bit smaller. I really like it. I just wish these 2 shades, the pink and the rose gold here, were not as close as they actually are. So that's really my only complaint there. But overall, 2 very solid holiday collections. Both have some pros and some cons. So I'd love to know what your thoughts are on those collections. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you have tried many of the Lancome lipsticks since they've reformulated this year, please let me know of any recommendations. I'm definitely interested in trying more of those. So really happy with that. I know I did pick up a couple, but I can't remember which shades. So thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see you very soon. Have a great day.